Sonic and the Secret Rings. I don't know how to describe this game, but what I do know is that if you have not watched my my infuriating experience with Sonic and the Secret Rings, I honestly I suggest I suggest you watch it, but before I start, I just want to let you guys know I am extremely angry in this video, and this video takes place like way before I even came back. As you can see, it's 7 months ago or 10 months ago. And I wanted to mention that because I felt like it was kind of important to talk about my problems, in the original video while I talk about what happened beforehand, after this video and all that. So, Sonic and the Secret Rings. I'm probably not going to show any gameplay for this one. Probably not. I have no idea. Maybe I will. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. I have no idea. Okay. Let me see if there's audio at least. Okay. Alright. There's audio. Okay, cool. Alright. So, what happened? What made me want to replay Sonic and the Secret Rings? I want to talk about it. I want to explain myself before I kind of, get more into the video. Also, I realize my shirt on this sleeve is completely ripped, so give me a freaking second. I might as well just throw this shirt away. But, basically, it's weird, because when I first played Sonic and the Secret Rings, obviously I knew Sonic and the Secret Rings was going to be bad. Alright, I knew going into Sonic and the Secret Rings because I had somewhat prior experience with Sonic and the Secret Rings, okay? What I mean by prior experience is I went over to Nick's house because he had a Wii at the time, and this was way back in the day. For some reason, out of all my memories, I remember Sonic and the Secret Rings, right? This was the very first time I played the game, and I think I mentioned it in my first review as well, but I'm going to mention it here. My first memories with Sonic and the Secret Rings was me playing it, playing the party games of Sonic and the Secret Rings with Nick, Louie, and a few others. And it's okay, Boyd. I know you can't see my stream, and that's fine. You don't have to apologize for that. But I remember that, and I solely hated this game because the party minigames were so bad, and everyone that's brought up this game has said it was bad because of the motion controls and everything beyond that, right? Everyone says it's that bad for that reason or whatever. Fine. And for years, it was mainly because of the party games. I really never wanted to play this game because of the party games, but I remember when I gave it my first shake during my experience video / my initial first few gameplay videos of this, I really hated Sonic and the Secret Rings, and for very good reason, right? The controls were really fucking bad. I mean, you have to tilt it a little forward to move forward. You have to tilt it back to move backwards. You press the 2 button to jump. You press the 1 button to brake. Your up and down buttons are your time and speed brake. B does absolutely nothing. Also, you press 2 and wait for the little lock on and then shake the Wiimote to homing attack, right? So it's a whole control scheme that not a lot of people are a fan of, which is why Black Knight kind of changed that idea when Secret Rings came out and yada yada yada, right? It was so bad. And the reason I say my first video, I would argue, is still extremely valid is because the beginning portion of Sonic and the Secret Rings, I would argue, is possibly one of the worst, Sonic experiences I've had in a long time. And the main reason I say Sonic and the Secret Rings can be or is one of the worst Sonic experiences I've had is because, again, the controls were so bad. And since Sonic isn't leveled up in the beginning, since this kind of has RPG elements with a level up system, and the more you level up, the more things Sonic unlocks, right? Now, back then, you would think a level up system for Sonic is really good, but Secret Rings, I would say the leveling up system kind of ruined the game in the beginning, because keep in mind, Sonic has not a lot of speed. His ring count isn't really all that big at the beginning. He, literally is slow as shit. You feel like you barely have any control of him. And again, some of the missions in the beginning were really bad. Like, for example, racing the little blue orb. The little Uo. I can't really say his name right, but racing him can range from being easy to extremely bad really quickly. And I can talk about it, like his races right now, but again, some of those early missions, like for example, the egg mission, oh my fucking god. If you, look, Sonic and the Secret Rings, the egg mission, I brought this up in my first video, which again, I still say is valid. I completely understand any player who's played Sonic and the Secret Rings and quit completely right there. Because I was right there with y'all. I quit as soon as I tried doing the egg mission. And what makes the egg mission so bad? You're going to have to play it for yourself to find out, right? And I think I explained it better in my first video. But to sum it up, the egg mission is basically where you have to bring eggs. You have to collect eggs. And keep in mind the controls, you have to move forward, move backward with the Wiimote. You're kind of tilting it forward and back, right? And you have to bring the egg to the right egg shape, or I think it was like, for example, like the eggs have like a certain pattern on them, and if you didn't bring that egg to the right thing, it wouldn't count as you collecting a fucking egg, and then you'd have to run around the whole map trying to find that proper egg to get it in that proper place at the proper time. And it is such a horrible mission in the beginning of the game. That's why I think Sonic and the Secret Rings is kind of iconic for this mission being extremely bad for literally anybody who picks up this game. I have not heard of one person who has played Sonic and the Secret Rings and genuinely said the egg mission is not that bad, right? And yes, I have heard people defend this game saying, hey, when you're level 99, this game can be one of the funnest games of all time. But who the hell is going to level up to level 99 just to have fun with Sonic and the Secret Rings? Most people, when they pick this up, they want to make it to the beginning, middle, and end of the game. They don't want to be level 99 to breeze through this. You know what I'm saying? True Classic. Also, what's good, bro? Yo, Dave, what's going on, man? What's been happening? How you been? You been good? Hey, you better have been good. You know? Better have been good. Your life has better been good. Otherwise, something might happen, bro. Nah, I'm just fucking with you. But, obviously, yeah, my favorite Sonic game on the Wii is Wii Unleashed. Wii Unleashed is good. I'm going to have to replay that one someday. Which, honestly, I kind of want to because I played Sonic and the Secret Rings. But anyways, as I was saying, right? It's weird because I remember after I initially raged really bad on this game. Like, I destroyed this game. Like, I did everything I could to get this out of my life. I've been good other than basement getting water all over the place from recent storm, but it's all cleaned up now. Oh, well, thank God you're good. But, because I remember, I think, my boy Nick also gets floods in his house, too. So I've been hearing a lot about that from around here and shit. It's getting bad, bro. Climate change is really fucking shit up now, huh? But, anyways... Sonic and the Secret Rings, right? Back to what I was saying about this. After my initial rage quit on this game and vowed to not play this again, I remember, again, all the early missions being absolutely awful, I remember many, many months later, like after I got rid of this game, I remember I was looking around on Zia Records' website, and a part of me wanted to replay this game. A part of me wanted to pick this game back up because I kind of felt like again, the reason I raged on this game was justified. I am not going to say to you guys that my rage was invalid now. I love the game. There are a lot of re-experiences where I have said that, where my mind has completely switched. But for this game, it's a very 50-50, and I think, again, me breaking the game the first time was pretty valid. I had a lot of reason to do it. It was like a valid crash out. You know, if you've seen the gameplay videos, you completely understand why I would fucking flip out on this game, right? But, I don't know. I remember when I was looking on Zia Records, and a part of me was kind of telling myself in my head, because I kept thinking of the 7 Rings in Hand, like the main theme, or I was listening to the OST one day, and I'm like, I want to give Sonic and the Secret Rings another try. Like, I genuinely want to give this game another try. I feel like I'm missing out. And also, a part of the reason why I wanted to give this game another try was I was watching Brain Scratch commentaries on Sonic and the Secret Rings. And, you know, that with listening to the OST and all that stuff getting into my head, that made me kind of be like, I want to find this game again. Somewhere, somehow, I want to find this game again. You know, and I want to play it for the review, or not just play it for the review, but I want to play it, I want to replay it. I want to see what I missed. I want to do my best to try to make it to the end of this game. I really want to. And, you know, that turned into me eventually going on the Zia Records website one day and trying to find something for me to buy, because obviously I need Wii games for content. I need to make content here, okay? So I remember when I was scrolling through the Zia Records website, and I found Sonic and the Secret Rings again. They had a copy of Sonic. Oh, thank you for the one. Thank you for the jewels. Whoever gave me that, I think it was Jeremiah. They don't show you who gives me jewels, so please let me know if you do get if you did give me jewels. Thank you for giving me jewels / rupees up there. Thank you for giving me that. I didn't see that at first. I apologize. Because I was so focused on talking about the game in question that, you know, it tended to slip. King Shadow, hi. How you doing? Talking about Secret Rings over here. But yeah, I remember finding it on Zia Records, and I remember I was spent hours trying to buy this game, because it was this game and I think Wii Music, right? It was this game and Wii Music that I really wanted to play so bad. I really mainly wanted to play this game again badly, because it was, you know, again, in my head that I wanted to play. Honestly, the normal levels weren't all that great, but the bosses were always a ton of fun to play / replay. Dude, I wish I could agree, but I'll get to that when we get to that. I mean, most of the bosses in this game, which I will talk about right now, because I might want to get a move on. But anyways, Dave, you're not wrong. The bosses were kind of fun once you figure them out. And I'll get to, you know, how most of these kind of felt like a problem anyway. Anyways, as I was saying, I found this game on Zia Records. I was spending countless hours trying to order it off of Zia Records, and keep in mind, it's the first time I'm properly ordering something online, so of course I'm going to probably fuck up something like a digit or money imbalance or something, and I remember I was getting so frustrated about that, and I remember after hours upon hours later, it got ordered to my house. Yeah, I got ordered to my house. I remember I was waiting days upon days upon days upon days just so I could open this game and replay it. I do have the unboxing video from my first copy, but I didn't do a re-unboxing for the second copy, because I was like, why would I need 2 Sonic and the Secret Ring unboxings, you know, unless it's like an HD port to a new console or something. Then I'll do it again. But anyways, I got this game. I was so excited to put it in, to understand what the hell I missed out on, and I'm gonna be real with y'all, I was hella fucking mixed. There were so many sessions when I played Sonic and the Secret Rings where when I came back to this, I loved what I played, because some of the bosses were genuinely enjoyable, right? Which I am going to show you some of the Sonic and Secret Rings. I guess I am showing you gameplay after all. Here, let me do the voice. Sonic and the Secret Rings all bosses. You know, why not show you every boss in Sonic and the Secret Rings, right? So, when I was playing, right, most levels in the game are good, but there's a lot of bad levels in. For example, racing the little blue thing, like I mentioned before. I want to mention this mission, or the don't get hit missions, or the clear with 0 ring mission, or clear with 1 ring, or don't touch any rings, or defeat 40 enemies. Levels in this game can range from some of the most fun in the entire game to I easily want to destroy my TV and everything around me. I mean, oh, by the way, found out last night that PS4 controllers work on PS5. Just a nice fact I wanted to bring up. Hey, thanks for letting me know, man. Yeah, they work for, if I remember correctly, PS4 controllers. They work for PS5, but you got to make sure your copies are PS4, if I'm not mistaken. Otherwise, it won't work. Otherwise, sorry, I had to move Louis there. Otherwise, it won't work with the game in question. So you can't play a PS5 game with a PS4 controller. You have to play a PS5 game with a PS5 controller. If you're playing a PS4, it doesn't really matter which one. You can choose a PS5 or a PS4 controller, I think, for that. But anyways, I digress, right? So, like I said, the missions can range from really good to really bad. And I remember I was struggling so badly on, I think it was one of the races with the blue little light thing in Night Palace. And I struggled with him in, I think it was either Skeleton Dome or it was one of the other Pirate Storm levels. And I remember I spent over an hour, and I have gameplay footage of that hour. I spent over an hour trying to race him over and over again, failing at some point one way or another because the game just really felt like it was rigged against me. And again, the controls are always fighting against you. So like, no matter what, you're going to be having a problem with the controls during a race, during missions that will give you a problem. And I'm telling you, do not play Sonic in the Secret Rings or go into it thinking it's Black Knight. I have to say this again. Do not go into this game thinking it's Black Knight, because if you go into this game thinking it's Black Knight, you're going to die. You're going to fail. This game is infuriating at times. And I didn't know it was going to be so infuriating until I played it and found out myself by playing the levels. Anyways, let's move on to the bosses, right? Because I kind of want to move along a little bit. Show you a bit of what we got going on. So, the first boss in the entire game is the Sand Scorpion, right? And I have no audio for a reason, because what if I get an ad? Honestly, the Sand Scorpion, when I fought him, because you can also fight the bosses in completely different orders, by the way. If you get the World Ring, you can head to the next area, and you don't have to fight all these guys in order. You can fight them out of order if you even wanted to. But anyways, Sand Scorpion, honestly, just wait, jump around, wait till you can jump on his eyes over and over again. Not a bad fight. This was probably one of the easiest, if not the easiest, in Sonic and the Secret Rings. The Ifrit Golem, right? Keep in mind, this boss right here, I'm going to give y'all like an example. This boss, depending on how, if you go in with info on how to beat him or not, he can easily be one of the worst bosses for you to fight in the entire game. Because keep in mind, right, some people on this boss, right, won't get it. You have to hit his fingers, and basically once you hit his fingers, right, you can also go up to his head and hit his big-ass head thing. But you have to wait a while and hit his fingers while fire's happening, going all around you and shit, and you're trying to figure out, okay, can I do this? Will I do this? And obviously you have to if you want to beat the boss, but I remember I was scared of Ifrit Golem because I was like, that metallic fuck is the exception. I hate this. Hey, see, exactly my point. Dave, now you're seeing exactly what I said a second ago. Why I said this boss can range from, bosses in this game can range from, it's fine to ridiculous depending on how you go into it. See, for me, I watched Brain Scratch's commentary on this, and they took over 8 minutes to beat the Ifrit Golem, and they talked about why it sucked. They talked about why this boss sucked balls and all that stuff. And for some reason, when I fought him in my Sonic and the Secret Rings gameplay video, I remember that information because, usually with me, when it comes to remembering info, if it dangles in my mind, if it scares me, if it haunts me, if it doesn't want to leave my mind, I remember it a lot more than like if it doesn't, if I feel good about it or something like that, right? That's usually how it works for a lot of people. Like, for example, like trauma, right? Trauma, for the most part, people remember bad stuff a lot more than the good stuff sometimes. I mean, it's 50-50, but there's a lot of people out there that remember bad stuff more than good stuff, right? And this Ifrit Golem was in my head a lot. And I remember after watching all that and seeing so many people struggle with him, I beat him in like 4 or 5 minutes, 4 or 5, 6 minutes myself. Like, not even 8. Because I figured out what I needed to do and got him done. But I completely understand why he is a bitch. Completely understand. Like, again, keep in mind, people, you're moving back and forth. And when Sonic in a circular motion, if I'm not mistaken, because the arena is like a circular arena, Sonic does not do good when turning and stuff on this arena. And it's really wonky trying to move left and right to collect all the rings, collect all the pearls so you can have your meter and all that shit. It is horrible. Oh, and I also want to mention this here. Time break and speed break. I want to talk about these briefly in this part of the review because I don't think I brought them up in the last one because I didn't unlock them at the time. But these abilities are so whatever. Because I won't lie to you, time break and speed break, I've only had to use time break the most during a certain boss fight we'll get into, right? And speed break, I barely used throughout my entire playthrough. I mean, I still used it, but I felt like the time and speed break were very, I don't know the right word for this, but Dave, I don't know if you would agree with me on this, but didn't you feel like time and speed break were like so 50-50 abilities of when you wanted to use them or not? Because 90% of the time, you don't even need speed break or even time break 90% of the time. And in fact, what makes time break bullshit is it slows everything down, including yourself. Unless you get to a certain level where you unlock time break, where basically Sonic is still normal speed while everything else around him is slow speed, right? I think you unlock a better time and speed break later down the line in the game. But I'm just saying, time break being that retarded, I hate time break a lot in this game because you slow down with everything else. I'm like, what the fuck? They sadly were pretty irrelevant. Cool concept, execution could have been better. See? That, I feel the same way. I feel the absolute same way. But anyways, let's move on, right? I just want to mention time and speed break real quick because, again, had to bring them up since it's my review and, it's 2025 review, okay? You're supposed to bring up everything in Sonic and the Secret Rings, buddy. Anyways, let's talk about the next boss, right? So, read my chat. Yep, you're tired of Little Mac. I saw that. This is called... I don't even remember his name. Captain Behemoth, right? Now, Captain Behemoth's boss fight... Oh, yeah, you want to see Smurfs? There you go. Yes, I'm using somebody else's video for footage because it is a bitch, Because I don't freaking remember... I mean, I do remember when I did this, but you get my point, right? So, Captain Behemoth as a boss fight was weird because honest to God... Like, basically you run up to him. All right, I gotta bounce. I'll catch you later, bro. Hey, I'll catch you later, Dave. Thank you so much for stopping by, man. Hey, donate before you leave. I'm just kidding. I'm joking. But with all seriousness, thank you, Dave, so much for watching. I'll see you next time, bro. Have a good day, bro. Take care. But this boss was weird because you want to avoid everything, run up to him, and take out those little horn things to defeat him. I remember struggling on this boss for a while before I inevitably got it. And it's mainly due because of my controls being bad and other things just not really working all that well. That's the whole reason why this boss sucked. And, I can't wait to talk about this. But I want to bring up the first Eraser Jin battle. Oh my fucking God. This battle right here sucked so much balls. Now, you're thinking right here, this battle should not be that bad, right? In retrospect, it shouldn't be. It's Eraser Jin. What could go wrong? So, this guy, Eraser Jin, the base Eraser Jin, has 26 hit points, and you go around dodging his attacks, his slices and dices and all that stuff over and over again, right? And you're probably wondering, okay, what's so bad about this? He's pretty slow. This looks easy, right? I remember it did look easy, and it does look easy. I will admit, it looks absolutely easy. But when I got to this 2D section, and every single playthrough I looked up, I had no idea what to do. Because the game tells you, after this, they tell you, hey, slow down and wait till Eraser Jin comes at you, right? You only have 1 second to react. I'm sitting there trying to understand the entire 2D section. I'm jumping up. I'm waiting for the fucking... Look, I'll show you, right? Now, I don't know if this dude, Prosafa Gaming, like, does the slowdown stop shit, but he did it without time break, right? I have no fucking idea how people did it without time break, aka hitting him in the face in those 2D sections, right? When he comes at you, right? Because every single time I did it, and I spent over an hour on this boss fight because of the 2D section right here, because of the fact that you barely get any gauge to do time break, right, to help slow down, and Eraser Jin, like I said, takes a second, okay, to come at you. He's fast. He's not slow like you would see in videos, right? It's a different thing entirely when you're watching somebody do it versus doing it yourself, right? I barely have time to react in that 2D section, right? And I was getting so frustrated at Eraser Jin because I was like, how the fuck do you beat this guy? I legit could not beat Eraser Jin when I played. Alright, base Eraser Jin. I could not do it. I could not do it. It sucked balls. I couldn't do it. Regardless, everything I've tried. And I remember chat at the time was trying to help me. People in the comments were trying to help me out a lot during this boss fight. They were. They were really trying to help me out. They were trying. They were trying to say, hey, why don't you hit him here? Why don't you hit him there? Why don't you wait till he swings his shit there to go and hit him? And I was doing everything. In the 3D section when you're running around, I was hitting him. I was dealing with him. I was handling him. And also, keep in mind, the longer the boss fight goes, like, the more damage you do to him, the faster he gets with each of his attacks, and the less time you have to react in the 3D and the 2D section. And I remember I was struggling on this so bad that I had to end Part 9 and go into this boss fight going into my Part 10 of the playthrough of Eraser Jin, right? Because he was so annoying to fight, and I remember I was sitting there after that Part 9 stream. I was looking up different ways and different methods of how to beat him, but every single time I tried without time break, I failed this boss fight every single time. I was just dying over and over and over and over and over again, right? And I remember until I found a certain somebody's video, right? And basically what they did, and I'm going to teach y'all how to do this because I don't know if y'all are going to like be like, hey, you know what? Alan played Sonic the Secret Rings. You know what? Let me show you my video how I did it, right? Because I did, you know, Sonic the Secret Rings pretty recently, so I'm like, hey, why not? So let me find the playlist real quick and show you the video, right? So, yeah, and which wasn't long ago. It was like 4, 5, 6 days ago, Part 10. Yep, Part 10. Right? So, basically, I'm going to show you what I did. Right? You have Eraser Jin coming at me. You jump mid-time break, and then you can hit him, and it becomes infinitely easier to hit him, right? And I know, my footage is very blue. But, basically, like I said, right? You get in the 2D section, he says, come face me, hold the 2 button to jump, because I got hints on. You time break a little bit after that. You wait till the time break gauge, you wait till he comes at you, and when he starts coming at you, you want to jump, right? Press the 2 button to jump, release that. Wait till the red mark comes, hit him, damage him, and when you damage him in the 2E phase, right, in the 2D phase, it will do 6 damage. It doesn't do 8 damage. It doesn't do 2 damage. It does 6 damage. And when you damage him in the 3D section, it does like 3 damage. But if you damage him in the 2D section, it does 6 damage. Also, I created a Punch-Out Wii Challenges series playlist, so all the Punch-Out Wii Challenges are in its own unique playlist. Anyways, I digress. Let's go back to the bosses, right? Because the bosses are so fucking bad in this game. Really, really bad. Extremely bad even, right? So, and I remember after I took over an hour and over 10, 15, 20, 30 minutes in my part 10 video I made of Sonic and the Secret Rings, finally putting that boss down, I was like, nope, I'm done with the Razor Djinn. And after that, it was the final chapter. It was the final boss, right? And, which I'm going to show you the final boss. Just give me a sec, right? I remember when I made it to the final chapters of Sonic and the Secret Rings, I was so happy that, you know, after dealing with everything, you know, the racing being bullshit, even the Night Palace, you know, everything just being on that bullshit level. I also kind of want to show y'all before I kind of continue is Lei Lawa, aka the final boss. This is what Eraser Djinn turns into whenever you know, see him again after he gets the 7 world rings. And also it tells you that Shayera was going to betray you because she also was in love with Eraser Djinn and whatever. They want to start a world, you know, she throws her own self in front of her. Sonic gets empowered by the rings, and, you know, let's see the boss fight, right? So, Dark Spine Sonic, in general, is a pretty cool design. I remember this form. This is probably the only thing I remember from Secret Rings outside of the minigames, because, you know, Sonic forms are pretty iconic, pretty popular too. But anyways, this boss fight, right? This boss fight confused me for so long because I didn't know what to do at the time, right? I better watch for the beam of light, I probably will dodge it, right? I was stuck on this boss for like 30 plus minutes, and this is not an exaggeration. I was stuck on this boss for 30 minutes, mainly because I had no idea what to do. Like, I didn't know, like, how to avoid this attack, right? And the giant light ball attack, you speed break into it, you try to push it back on some Dragon Ball Z Spirit Bomb shit. You kick it, you hit it, and basically you kick it back at Eraser Djinn, and basically you also use speed break to, you know, kind of go up to him and just bash him over and over and over again until he dies, right? And, yeah, and the fight gets a little bit harder here and there, right? And I know, wow, Alan, you failed on a boss that simple, how could you? I've never done this prior to this moment in my Part 11 Sonic and the Secret Rings, aka final video, playthrough my entire life. Never done it. So, please get off my back about failing this easy boss, right? Get off my back, please and thank you. Anyways, so after you beat Eraser Djinn, it does show you the ending, the true ending of the game, which everyone knows the ending. It's kind of iconic, the ending here, which I will show off, and then I'm going to talk about the music a little bit. But anyways,
supposed to grant 3 wishes. Am I right? I will never grant any wish from the likes of you. Huh. My first wish, bring Shara back to life.
I know this scene's iconic because of the memes, but I actually kind of like this ending. This ending was kind of raw a little bit. And also, what's weird about the ending in Sonic and the Black Knight, after seeing this, right, is after you get the credits, it's also told to us, right? In the weirdest way possible, and I mean this. Shayera, at the end of the first credit, she says there were tons more of adventures in the Arabian Nights that Sonic went through, like, because basically he started running endlessly to find his way back home, right? Because obviously Sonic doesn't belong in the Arabian Nights storyline. He doesn't belong there. And he's just trying to find his way back home so he can go back home to his Tails, you know, Amy, everybody else, right? And it's weird because they say he had endless amounts of adventures still in the storybook, right? And I'm not sure what they mean by this after the ending anyway, after the ending, which I was going to show the whole ending. I know I interrupted it a little bit, but, you know, it's a my experience video, it's a review video, and plus I showed this in my final part of the gameplay video. Anyways, it was weird because I don't know what they were implying. Like, was there supposed to be, like, are the bonus missions you get, like, after the fact, right? Like, after you beat the game, are those, because you get levels after the end credits, you get new levels added to different locations of the game after you beat it, to I guess to show off those were Sonic's endless adventures before he went home. And I'm not even 100% sure because they just treat them as regular missions. They're not like, oh, here's another bonus bit. Because if you remember in Black Knight, they also had a bonus secret boss. And I was wondering if there was going to be a secret boss in this game like they did for Black Knight. But no, there's no secret boss in this game. Once you beat Final Form Eraser Jin, you know, he's completely over. He's dead. You know, he's dead / sealed back into the lamp. Which I was kind of upset because I was like, oh, dang, maybe we can get a secret fight with, not Shadow, but maybe a secret fight with, I don't know, Silver or something in the game. I don't know. Something to kind of give this game like a little bit longevity after you got all the 7 world rings. Or maybe use Darkspine Sonic to fight like a possessed Arabian Night Aladdin or something. That's what I was thinking. I don't know. That would have been cool. But I digress, right? And anyways, back to the ending of the game. I kind of want to still show y'all.
The Arabian Nights to the way they were, so that the world can have its stories again. My third wish, Eraser Jin, you shall live out the rest of time trapped inside your lamp as you were in days of old.
Sonic doing that last shot was so cool, dude. This bit, I was kind of like the opening. Or not the opening, but this bit of the game I kind of felt was a little weird.
Now, just let yourself cry as much as you need to. You'll have plenty of handkerchiefs to help you through it.
This was memed particularly because of how badly it aged. And I can't blame people for making fun of this ending, right? Because, you know, the team that made this game, aka the Sonic B team, right? Because they made Secret Rings and Black Knight and stuff, while A team had to, you know, rush 06 out. You know what I mean? And all that other sort of stuff, right? Because Secret Rings, 06 and, you know, 06 and Secret Rings were developed by 2 different Sonic teams. So honestly, even I in my gameplay video, I understood that what the implication of this ending was. It's to kind of help Shayera go through the pain of kind of losing her man again to, you know, because of his own evil desires and shit. And obviously she was in love with him. So Sonic was like, here, why don't you cry as much as you need you have plenty of handkerchiefs, you know, or tissues or whatever. I don't know why handkerchiefs, you know, I don't know if I don't think anyone still uses that word, but you get it, to cry on, to help you lean on about the loss of your man again, you know, being bound to the lamp all over again. Because I bet Shayera felt some type of happiness with the lamp, you know, with him being around, even though he was evil, but she had to stop him in some way, shape, or form, and that's kind of sad, so the handkerchief. It's kind of corny. The ending is really fucking corny. You know what I'm saying? It's corny as hell because, I don't know, it's corny. I think it's sort of somewhat cringe, and I know it didn't age well. I know for memes it aged well, but for not memes it didn't, and it kind of made me think, like, wow, for a little bit. Like, I don't know what to say, you know. But anyways, other than the ending being a little different, I want to talk about Sonic and the Secret Rings' OST. Wow, this game's OST, I know I mentioned it in the first video, but I want to mention it again because I do have some absolute favorites in Sonic and the Secret Rings. Wow. Like, for example, right, I don't know which song it was, but every song in the Sonic and the Secret Rings, like, game in general is so good. Seven Rings in Hand, I mean, that one is just annoying because you hear it for the main menu music, you hear it from when you boot up from the Wii menu, you hear it a lot, right? Like, Unawakening Float. Like, hear this. Okay, not everyone in the universe needs to hear it, though. I was so surprised, right, with Sonic and the Secret Rings OST for one to two reasons. When I heard this song for the first time, it made me want to go back to Sonic and the Secret Rings as well. Because you can't tell me this type of music or this song in general for Secret Rings would not fit a Dragon Ball Z movie. And keep in mind, I grew up with the Dragon Ball Z movies over here, you know, in the English dub with the Pantera music and all the rock music. Because keep in mind, early/later Dragon Ball Z movies, you know, had a lot of cool, badass rock music, right? And Sonic and the Secret Rings, when playing through the game, and I heard this song for the first time and plenty of others, I fell in love with the OST all over again, and I just wanted nothing but to play it for myself and hear it for myself in Sonic and the Secret Rings, right? And I just had a good time, and god damn it, bless the fucking team who made this, because god damn it, you did a good job on the OST. The game may have been mixed, right? But the OST is phenomenal, right? But anyways, it's been 40 minutes of this review, and I just want to say, Sonic and the Secret Rings, after beating it for the first time in my life now, you know, and I know people will probably say, well, Alan, your first opinion's invalid because you didn't beat the game before talking shit. It's like, brother, I'm going to let you know there are so many people out there that do the exact same shit. And even if I didn't beat it, who cares? I'm still stating my opinion. At least I played it. I'm not going to be like some guy who goes online and says the game is shit without playing it. You know what I mean? At least give it a play first. I mean, well, actually, you know what? There probably is some exceptions to that rule because, you know, it kind of gets a little gray area there. But anyways, I digress, right? Sonic and the Secret Rings, man. Honestly, a part of me, again, like I've been saying this entire video, and even the title, extremely mixed on this game. Like, there's points that I love this game, there's points that I hate this fucking shit, and I want to burn it in a fire like Sonic is on the cover, where he has flame coming out of his body. I just want to burn it alive. There are points in this game where I'm like, I despise this level design, or enemy placement, or something, but for some reason, the music, the gameplay got me hooked. The fact that it's a storybook game, so this game's essentially from my childhood as well as Black Knight. Technically before Black Knight, because, you know, I played the party games of this one / Secret Rings before I played Black Knight, but I don't know, it's just, and I know this might sound this is gonna sound wild as hell, but I think, and I remember when, Brain Scratch said this one time, in their video about Secret Rings and Black Knight, right? Wow, I'm holding both the games in my hands. Honestly, I'm gonna be real. Sonic and the Black Knight, right? Hear me out. Is a better game, better controls, right? Boss fights are subjective, but which one you prefer? But this game in general is better, right? In terms of gameplay and stuff, because the gameplay isn't as bad as Secret Rings, and there's no level up system in this game, and it's just you going from beginning, middle to end. It's like a 2-hour experience, right? This game took me 10 hours to beat once. This game took me 2 hours, and I did a full playthrough of this on the page too, on top of that in one stream. Like 2-3 years ago. Yet this one took me 10 hours. Now, I would say Sonic and the Secret Rings, I don't know why, but it just, for some reason, it aches me to say it, but it does it at the same time. It's a mix. I would say, and I don't know if any of you guys will agree, I would say Sonic and the Secret Rings is a better Sonic adventure game, like a better Sonic game than Black Knight. Again, Black Knight has better gameplay, yes. And it's a lot easier to breeze through, yes. It feels more in line of a Sonic game because you can breeze through it in 2 hours, right? But Secret Rings, a lot of the time when playing, felt more like an adventure. It felt like it had more story to it. It felt like, you know, it wasn't something you can just skip cutscenes and not think about. Every boss, like everything in this game, good or bad, left an impact on you. I'm not trying to say Sonic and the Black Knight doesn't leave an impact on you, because it does. But I feel like Secret Rings is a better, like, Sonic, not story, but, like, in terms of, like, an adventure. This game feels way more like an adventure than Black Knight. Black Knight feels like sometimes you're going through, and it is an adventure in this game, too, but it feels more of an adventure in Secret Rings than it does Black Knight, if that at all makes any sense. And I know it might not make sense to some, and people might disagree with my take, but, again, gameplay better, much easier game to breeze through, and, you know, when you're fighting the bosses, it lets you know how to defeat them and what to do against them in some degree. A lot better than this game. But you can't lie and tell me Secret Rings doesn't, like, if it gets you hooked enough, you know, it really gets you reeled in. And I'm not saying Black Knight doesn't do that, but, you know, after playing both these games now officially, you know, having years with this one and having, like, about a year or so, or like 10, 11 months with this one, you know, I don't know. I love both of them. Both these games are amazing in their own ways, and one of them does better than the other in each category. You know, because this game has more adventure, right? Or it feels like it has a better adventure. Okay, it lacks Sonic and the Black Knight lacks adventure compared to Secret Rings, but Black Knight has better gameplay, faster, and the pacing of the game is way better. The mission structure is way better. Music, again, could be better. It's better or worse, depending on what you think about. But you know what I mean? It's like, what Secret Rings doesn't, Black Knight does. Or what Black Knight doesn't do, Secret Rings does. These games are kind of like a 50-50 on which one you think is better. But overall, I'm extremely mixed on this game, unlike Black Knight, where I loved it all the way through. Secret Rings left me mixed. I probably need, like, more years with this game to kind of be like, if I'm on which side. But, again, to me, Secret Rings, I feel like, is more mixed. It's, I don't know, it's better in a lot of ways, but it's also way worse in a lot of ways. And do I recommend you play Sonic and the Secret Rings? Honestly, you can skip Sonic and the Secret Rings in Black Knight and not really miss anything with both games, or just in this case, Secret Rings. Because, again, it's not really like a main... I mean, I don't know, Sega doesn't really treat this game as a main timeline Sonic game. For some reason, I don't know why they don't. Sega doesn't treat these games with respect. Kind of shit on these games for some reason. Kind of wish they didn't, but I wish these games got more love, to be honest. Because I would say Black Knight and Secret Rings deserve way more love. And do I think Sonic and the Secret Rings is overhated? I think the hate, in a lot of ways, is justified because of the controls and because of how the game plays. But I also think it is a little overhated because of those things. Because I feel like if you tough it out and you endure it, it does get better along the way. Sonic and the Secret Rings isn't a horrible game all the way through. It's horrible for the beginning part and maybe some of the middle, but it kind of balances itself out in the middle act to the end act because you get more abilities. And once you get more abilities, the game becomes more fun. And I don't know. I know I'm all over the place with this review. This is my experience with Secret Rings and stuff, and I apologize. But I just can't help it. You know, I'm extremely mixed on this game. One way I want to say it's a great game, but a part of me also wants to say it's kind of bad too because of these things. I just can't help it. You know? But I don't know. Fuck it, man. Go play this game for yourself. See what I'm talking about with the egg mission. See what I'm talking about with racing that blue fucking light thing. See what I mean with, you know, defeat 40 enemies. Understand where I'm coming from on this game, man. Play it for yourself. If you have a PC, I recommend you emulate it, you know, so that way you don't have to go out of your way to buy a Wii, you know, from a store or something like a retro game store, or buy this game, you know, with money. I recommend you emulate it. Give it a try. If you can understand the emulation of it. Actually, honestly, I'd probably recommend you emulate it after you played it on its original hardware. Mainly because, you know, the original hardware, it's a lot easier to set up. All you need is a fucking Wii, a Wii remote, and the game. And then you can play it. With emulation, you gotta do a whole lot of things with the PC, the ISO file, and all that other junk. So I take that back when I say emulate this game first. I recommend you give it a play first on original hardware. If you don't like it on original hardware, then maybe give emulation a try, or maybe give emulation a try first. I don't know. I don't know your preferences in terms of how you like the game, but I recommend you give this one a shot. And if you haven't played it in years, because of what everyone says on the internet, you know, 90% of what people say, what their reviews are now on the internet, listen. You can listen to those reviews and, you know, listen to those reviews, but I would honestly give it a play for yourself before you deep dive into those reviews of the game in question. You know, even my review is subjective, you know, it's going to be different to yours, you know, it's going to be, oh, you might have just absolutely hated the game, you know, I also have my first review of the game where I absolutely hated the game. Now I'm just mixed on it, but back then I was, you know, I absolutely despised this game. You know, just like everybody else. And there's some people that even admitted that it used to be good and now it's quote-unquote bad. But I suggest you give it a play for yourself before you say it's bad. You know? Give it an honest shake like I did. I mean, I had to take 2 shakes before I beat this game one time. So that should tell you something. But your experience might be different. And I'm glad I came back to Sonic and the Secret Rings and proved to myself that I can beat it, you know, that I beat the game this time. Despite all of its challenges, I pushed through and I beat Sonic and the Secret Rings, and I hope this inspires you guys to give the game another go. And that's my re-experience with Sonic and the Secret Rings. It's a game that left me mixed as fuck. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna see you later. I'm gonna go watch some stuff with Nick. Thank you so much for listening to me. I'm gonna see you guys later. I don't know if I'm gonna post shorts. Please, actually, you know what? I'm gonna say one last thing before I go to. Two things, by the way. Thank you for 4,150 subscribers. We're almost 4,160 subscribers, so thanks to you guys. We might be there already by the time this stream goes up, you know, and stuff. But also, please, 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 please check out my Sonic and the Secret Rings, the final battle / final chapter episode / my final part to Sonic and the Secret Rings. It didn't get a lot of attention, so please go give it some attention after this video. Watch me struggle on the final boss for a bit, and watch me try to sum up my thoughts in that video. Anyways, until next time, guys, like, comment, subscribe, favorite, share the video with your friends. Let me know what you guys think of Sonic and the Secret Rings. Let me know. Please let me know what your thoughts are. Be honest with me. If you hated the game, you hated the game. Let me know if you liked the game or if it's your favorite Sonic game. I want to know all your opinions down below in the comments. And until then, guys, have a phenomenal day. God bless. I will see y'all in the Secret Rings of next time. Alan, turn the video off, dude. That fucking sucked, and you know it. Alright. I'm done. Yeah, turn it up, dude. That was fucking